Good morning and welcome back to DR Sports. Remember, like the video before we even get into this breaking news. Comment with your thoughts as well. And of course, if you haven't already, what are you playing? Make sure you subscribe to DR Sports if you have not already. Wow. Who saw this one coming? Leandro Trossard will now become an Arsenal player for around £20 million. Unbelievable turn of events when you consider last week only we were talking about how Trossard has been exiled from the training camp. He's been made to train with the under 23s at Brighton. Obviously been dropped by De Zerbi, and De Zerbi was quite damning, really, quite scathing of his treatment towards Trossard in the way that he said he's got a bad attitude. He doesn't really want to play. But now you can kind of understand why. I mean, I'm not sure when these initial moves were made by Arsenal. Maybe it was off the back of knowing that he's kind of available for a decent price with 18 months left on his contract at 28, coming into the prime of his career. Or was this planned a little bit earlier? Or is this a reactionary signing off the back of losing out the race to sign Mykhailo Mudryk? We know that he'll probably make his debut for Chelsea at Anfield on Saturday. I can't wait to be at that game with the COP TV. However, Leandro Trossard for me. Now, Arsenal fans, let me know in the comments if you agree. In fact, everyone, let us know if you agree. For me personally, 100 million for Mudryk or 20 million for a player who is Premier League proven, scored a hat-trick at Anfield, only the second player to do that after Andre Arshavin, has been playing in the Premier League now for a good 4 or 5 years. Brighton's easily one of their best players. Is there an argument to say that this deal for Trossard, let's not forget, Arsenal going for the league this season, he could end up with a winner's medal. Is there an argument to say that this Leandro Trossard signing could potentially be more impactful than the signing of Mudryk? I know a lot of Arsenal fans in the end weren't happy with how the whole thing went in terms of him choosing Chelsea or being forced to choose Chelsea over Arsenal. Obviously, he wanted to go to Arsenal. But let's not forget, he's still unproven. He's only scored 4 goals this season in the Russian Premier League, which is great. But essentially, when you're a top club going for big trophies, is it better to actually sign someone who is already proven in that league, can do the things that you'd like them to do, score goals, assists? He's got a bit of that nasty nature in him as well. But I would actually argue that is a better signing for Arsenal than Mudryk. I think we're going to put a poll up as well. A lot of people in the comments are agreeing with me. To be fair, Cameron Buckle, 20 million for Trossard. Tatty Boy saying, I think you're right, dude. It's a great signing, says Jesse. Perfect signing to get us the title, says Ayub. And 20 mil, says Kazi, for Trossard. Definitely, I wanted Liverpool to get him, but we've lost our credit cards. Absolutely. Be up to Nikhil as well with the super chat. Not a bad signing. We could try playing Trossard in a false 9 role alongside Eddie. I don't mind. It makes us unpredictable. This is the thing. This is the comment I really like from Luke Thomas as well. Low risk signing. If you weigh up this signing, right? What are the risks? It's £20 million. What are the risks here? Maybe he gets injured. Maybe he gets suspended for a few games. But that's it. I can't really think of any more. Obviously, when you're bringing in Mudryk, the reward to risk ratio is a lot higher in terms of the risk, considering how much he's cost. But for 20 million, going for the title, I think this is a fantastic piece of business from Edu, Arsenal, Arteta. I think he's very much an Arsenal type of player. Can play anywhere across the front three. Again, can probably do Eddie's job for him if he gets injured as well. We know Jesus is coming back. Can play off the left if Martinelli goes down in the game. And of course, he can play on the right as well if Saka gets injured. He's got experience, guys. He's just come back from the World Cup. Granted, he didn't have the best World Cup ever. But I really can't see anything more than pure rewards in this signing. I mean, as I said, fast forward 4 months, this man could be holding a Premier League winners medal, and we could be saying, or after he scored some really important goals for Arsenal, we could be sitting here saying, what a signing that was. That's the signing that won Arsenal the league. We could do. But let me know in the comments, risk, reward, what outweighs what? For me, this is a massively rewarding or potentially massive rewarding signing for Arsenal. Great deal, says Ila. Now we have the funds to go bigger in the summer for Rice, says Terry Papp. AGT Jude is coming to Liverpool next summer. I hope so. Pritesh, I think this is a brilliant signing and gets in the squad no problem. Bench looks more healthy with him on it. And this is the thing for Arsenal fans. This is the depth that you've been looking for in that squad. We've heard a couple of murmurs around when Jesus is out that Eddie maybe can't be that guy to fire in the goals in his absence. But I do think that with Trossard as well, it takes a little bit of pressure off Eddie's shoulders. I don't think he's necessarily built for the out-and-out number one choice striker for Arsenal. He's a very good option off the bench or in cup games, etc. And listen, he's proven people wrong, by the way, as well, by scoring a lot of goals in the Premier League. His record's brilliant, Eddie Nketiah. But this one definitely takes a little bit of pressure off of him and puts a little bit more potency in that attack and the depth from the bench as well. I think this is a fantastic signing for Arsenal. I'm really impressed by this piece of business. Is there any, I mean, Arteta must have met the player, he must have spoken to him, Edu too. There were obviously talks about him having a bad attitude, not maybe giving it his all in training. Obviously, De Zerbi's going to say that after he's banished him to the reserves. But is that going to be an issue for Arsenal? We know that having watched the Amazon Prime documentary, we know there's a little bit of a bust up between certain players in training. I think the bad apples have gone at Arsenal. I don't think there's really any remaining. When you consider the likes of Guendouzi have gone, Aubameyang, Lacazette, not saying that these guys were necessarily bad people, but you can see the improvements in Arsenal once all of these guys had left. And once you start playing the Martinellis, the Jesuses, the Sakas, these guys don't really have big egos. I don't think they are troublesome players, but maybe this one, putting him amongst these lads, does that cause an issue for Arsenal? Again, I'm going to answer the question. I don't think so. And that's why I can't really say anything negative about this signing. If I'm really honest, I don't really feel as if, again, like I said, the risks are there. I don't think the bad attitude thing only really happened when he decided not to extend his contract, which is fair enough. The difference between someone like him and Alexis McAllister is the fact that before the World Cup, McAllister signed the deal. He showed that loyalty to Brighton, even though, if we're really being honest, he's probably going to leave in the summer as well. But because he signed that contract, they'll get a lot more money for him. And I think that was Brighton's game plan when they asked Trossard to sign that new deal. It was almost as if to say, look, we know you're probably going to go in the next year, but let's protect ourselves by giving you a 3-4 year deal. And then your release clause can be higher. We can get more money for you. But the fact that he didn't sign it maybe shows a lot of ambition. He's clearly come back from the World Cup and thought to himself, if I stay here in the prime ages of my career, 28, 29, 30, 31, am I going to achieve everything I want to achieve? And now this opportunity has presented himself to him, and it's an absolute no-brainer for Leandro Trossard. In fact, he was probably scratching his eyes. He probably couldn't believe that this offer was on the table, if we're honest, but it is. And it looks like he is literally minutes away from being announced as an Arsenal player. Big up to Malith Con, who says, a great deal for Arsenal, economically and technically gifted, and is educated in the EPL, as I said. Premier League experience, Premier League proven, probably scored the most goals for Brighton in the last few years in the Prem. That's a guess, but I'm probably right. Trossard is mid, though, says Udu. Could be a good pickup for the price, but I can't see him doing anything massive at the club. Mate, he could win the Premier League at Arsenal. Trust me. Diaby is the better option for me. I believe he'll be a consistent threat for both left wing and right wing. However, I think Trossard would thrive with great players around him, and I would even play him in the middle. Let's not forget as well, Arsenal have still got Marquinhos to play off the wing. So if you look at the attacking options now for Arsenal, it's pretty stacked. It looks good. You've got Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka, Eddie Nketiah, Javi Jesus. Now you've got Trossard and Marquinhos. 6 good players there. 6 very different options, but that gives you that depth, doesn't it? AGT, would you want him at Liverpool? Be honest, yeah, 100%. I would have taken him without question. Like I said, he scored a hat-trick at Anfield, really raised the curtain there. And I think for that price, I mean, obviously we were speaking to the Seagull Social podcast on the COP TV last week to preview the Brighton game, and they said he'd probably be around 15 to 20 million with 18 months on his contract. He was never going to demand a 30 to 40 million plus transfer fee, but I think this is fair. I do think Brighton have done some good business getting 20 mil through the door. And Arsenal, if we're really being honest, what's 20 mil to Arsenal? They can spend that quite easily. So, as I said, the risk, the reward, this is a fantastic. Time will tell. Time will tell if it is a fantastic deal. But from right now, looking at how it looks to me as if there's nothing but good things to come out of this one. Also, just going around the Premier League as well, it looks like Danny Ings has signed for West Ham. Who would have thought that one, by the way? Only joined Aston Villa in maybe 2019. Hasn't really worked out for him in terms of getting that game time every single week. Listen, the guy scores goals. He's 30 years old, 15 million that West Ham have paid Aston Villa for his services. He now joins Scamacca, Antonio, Paquetá, and the rest in those attacking positions. But again, I think that's a fantastic deal for West Ham. Good money. Premier League proven striker, as we know, played for Liverpool, Burnley, and now West Ham, and of course Aston Villa. And he becomes only the second ever player to make the hat trick of playing for 3 clubs that play in claret and blue, after Burnley, Aston Villa, and now West Ham. Danny Ings is claret and blue all the way through. It's unbelievable. Brilliant stat, that. Send the 10k, Alex. Shut up, man. You don't know me. You don't about 10k. No way. I ain't doing that. Big up to you, though, for the comment. If you are close to relegation, sign Danny Ings, says Martin. Well, there you go. Again, scores goals, gets you out of trouble. Look what he did with Burnley. That's why Liverpool bought him in the first place. It's actually a bit... with Danny Ings' career, it makes me sad a little bit, because the potential was there. The goal record was there. The age was always good when he moved to Liverpool. I think he was 24 23 when he moved. And it's one of those players that you look back and think, could he have done more? Could he have done a little bit more? I mean, listen, you can't help injuries, but at the same time, I just feel like, I don't know, there was something a little bit not there in terms of finishing off his career at the highest level. But listen, another opportunity at West Ham to score some goals in the Premier League. And we'll see what happens. Can he get them out of trouble? Let's see what else is going on in the Premier League today. He joins David Unsworth, by the way, as only the second ever player to play in all 3 claret and blue colours. Loris Karius, right? The ill-fated goalkeeper that lost us the Champions League final in 2018. He has extended, or he will now stay at Newcastle until the end of the season. The German goalkeeper initially joined the Magpies on a short-term deal in September last year, with an option to extend his stay until June 2023, and he will do that. The 29-year-old, as we know, has now played for Mainz, Liverpool. I don't know how that even happened. And he was on loan at Besiktas and Union Berlin as well. He will now stay at Newcastle. Hasn't played yet, which asks the question to me, why would you extend the contract if he hasn't actually played yet? But it's interesting to have him there as backup. But yeah, your main stories of today, guys, are Leandro Trossard now signing for Arsenal, £20 million fee. Very, very good deal, if I'm honest. It's one of those deals that could turn out to be one of the deals of the window, or it could just flitter away and people don't really remember much of it. I think it's going to be the former. I do think he's got everything he needs, that Arsenal need to score goals, assists, and help them in this quest to win the Premier League for the Gunners. He's a very exciting player, as I saw. I mean, I was in the front row at the Cop End when he scored that hat-trick, and I was even saying after the game, let's sign him. So the fact that he's gone away at the World Cup, had time to think about his future, and has made this move now, it's fantastic. It really is a good deal, a positive deal for Arsenal, and I feel like it could turn out to be one of the signings of the season as well. Super chat from AFC Max. He says, not going to lie, this deal reminds me of the Jota deal. Not disrespecting either deal. It's just I have question marks against certain aspects. But on the other hand, good squad player and could make the difference. This is what I mean. The risk and reward is totally, the risk is outweighing, the reward, is outweighing the risk. For 20 million, I mean, Arsenal have been linked with Declan Rice and they're talking about 80 million for him. So 20 million, it's not a lot. it's not going to break the bank at Arsenal. It might not even be remembered if it doesn't go well. But at the same time, to get him in at this time, and he's hungry, by the way. He's been shunned away a little bit by Brighton in the last couple of weeks. So now he's hungry to play, score, and show everyone what he's made of again as he approaches as he is in the prime years of his career. Trossard is okay, but I wanted Mitoma, says Front Yard. Well, you can't have it all. You can't have it all, my friend. Is it confirmed, guys? Says Sears of Times. Yes. I mean, it's the tweet has happened from Fabrizio Romano. So there you go. It's a here we go. I love him. Can play all over on the attack. He will cost 20 million, and maybe we go for a DM2. Now, does this affect Arsenal's ability to also bring in a midfielder in this window? We've spoken about how Arsenal really didn't necessarily need Mudryk through the door. What they did need is a backup midfielder. And it looks like if they can put this one over the line, which they have done with Trossard, it looks like now with just around 12 days remaining in the window, it now looks like they can go again for a midfielder. Then that really would be a very, very good transfer window for Arsenal. Absolutely. I'm going to talk Palhinha from Fulham to Arsenal into existence, says Martin. Very good player, Palhinha. He's actually won the ball the most times in the Premier League this season. Don't gas me, AGT. Trossard sounds good, says JY. I'm gassing you. It does sound good. Very good. You should be excited about this one. Nesta Flores saying Edu should be fired. I'm not too sure about that. What about Rafinha? Musto, again, you can't have it all. Trossard, again, Premier League proven, scores goals at the highest level, and has a history of scoring against big teams. I think he scored 5 or 6 against Liverpool alone. I know he scored against Arsenal, against City, Chelsea. Big game player. So again, big signing for this. Big signing this for Arsenal. Arsenal bench is shambolic, says Bear. They needed a striker. By the way, Luso trapping in the comments. You might as well just get away because I'm not going to reply to you with these abusive chats that you're sending me. So big up to you, my brother. Big up to Tamid Hassan, who says, "Wow, Ricky Gervais." I'll take that. Big up to you, my friend. Big up to you, my G. I mean, it's not really a compliment, but I'll take it nonetheless because he is my favorite comedian. Big up to you. Look at this, though, from the Black Protagonist. This is a very, very clever comment. Way better than the signing of Mudryk. That 60 mil saved gets you Rice. This is the business that we're talking about. Imagine if they did spend 100 mil on Mudryk. Imagine if it all fell down and he was a flop. You would have wasted all that money. Now you've got Trossard in, who can play in any of Mudryk's positions, is more experienced, is Premier League proven. But now you've also got a bit of that saved from the Mudryk deal. So do you go in now and spend 40 to 50 to 60 on a midfielder in the same window? Let us know in the comments right now. Better signing than Mudryk. Big up to you. Mean says, "Hey gents, you shut all your mouths about the Arsenal transfers." There you go. Let's find this latest super chat from Shorty AFC. Great, weak foot, Premier League proven, good fee, great deal. I can't disagree with any of that. And it's what I've been saying for the whole time, really, isn't it? It's one of those deals that you really look at and think, again, there's no reward. There's no risk on this one. It all makes sense for both parties, for Brighton, for Arsenal, or all three parties, and the player as well. I mean, you're not going to turn down going to Arsenal at 28, 29 years old after you've been at Brighton for 3 years, you know? Again, fantastic deal. Pepe was a waste of 70 million, says Musica. How many goals do we think Trossard gets then from here to the end of the season? Let's not forget, we're only halfway through. He could potentially play in 10 to 15 games, I would say, at this stage until the end of the season. Obviously, can start games, can come off the bench as well. I'm going for, I think he gets around 7 to 9 goals, which again, very good outlook. If you look at it, I think 7 to 9 goals. A lot of people getting in their shouts already. Chris going for 4, Dermot going for 5, Victor around 5, Coach 2288 says 8, Jackson Somersville with a 5. He'll be wearing a Chelsea jersey by the end of the day, says Kairos TV. Big up to you. Robin going for 6 goals, Jordan going for 8. Into Yanan going for 7 to 8. That's around about what I said as well. 7 to 9 goals. 5 goals says Gary. 5 top says Kaneki. 5 or 6 says Roman. 5 would be great. 4 to 7 goals is enough. 10 goals from Just Life. So you think he's going to get 10 goals in around 20 games? Impressive. We still have Europa and FA Cup, says Ralph Sheggs. That's true. He can play in those competitions as well. He has 7 goals already this season, allegedly from his Brighton spell. 3 of those came at Anfield. 10 goals and assists, says Ravikov. I would like that. If I was an Arsenal fan, I would very much take 8 goals and 6 assists, says Arsenal do 21. I would very much take these numbers, even if he gets 5. You never know. Those 5 goals could be the winner against Man United on Sunday. It could be another goal in the derby that wins them the game. He looks like he scores in big games, in big moments. So I would take him and use him as soon as you can, really. Get him on the pitch. 6 goals, 6 to 9, says Roman Hoax. 12 goals he will get, says Jack Stone. Wow, that would be some deal. I mean, for 20 million, 12 goals in 19 games, you'd pay it, you know. AGT, I'm going to say 7, says Abdullah. I'm going for around 7 as well, my friend. 7, says Thaddeus. And Bulu says 7. 0, says Chelsea fan 55. Maybe that's because Chelsea fans haven't managed to hijack this deal. Maybe a bit of bitterness there. 4 goals, 3 assists, says Longshanks 1. 5 goals and 6 assists, says David Fortes. He is Premier League proven, says Lester Fernandez. Could he even be ready for Sunday? Can he play a role in Sunday's game against Old Trafford? We also know that there will be no Casemiro after he was booked last night. To be honest, that was almost a red card, that tackle last night. It was one of those where you'd say it was a definite yellow, maybe not enough to give a red, but it was probably an orange card. But that booking now means that he will miss the game on Sunday, and he will not be involved in the Partey Casemiro debate now. Who is the better defensive midfielder? Well, he won't be there to show his talents. No, Manchester United will probably have to play Fred and McTominay in his absence because he is that good at covering the back four. Dean thinks he'll score 9 goals. Rilo says this is a big blow for Brighton. I agree. 3 goals at Anfield again. He could obviously have the opportunity to score more goals at Anfield now this season. Trossard would be better at Chelsea with Potter, says Matt James. Simon reckons 7 goals. 13 goals. If he scores 13 goals, that would be some return, by the way, says Barry McDonald. 13 goals, he reckons. None. He won't play, says Izayu. 8 goals from Alpha. Again, Leicester reminding us that he is Premier League proven. He won't play 15 games. And does he start over Eddie? Good question from Alex Lowe. It's a very good question. Does he start over Eddie? I would say no at this stage. Again, out and out number 9, I'd rather have Eddie, but that's just my opinion. 5 goals, 5 assists, says Trinidad Gunner. Big up to you, my friend. 10 goals, says Kondwani. 7 and 2 assists, says Roy Barnes. 5 is enough. 5 in EPL, 8 in all comps. Very precise. So many comments coming in, guys. You're smashing it right now. Big up to everyone who's involved. Another super chat here. Watch the Cowboys go in for him, says Balder. With that super chat there. I mean, it isn't done yet. We know that, but at the same time, it's this close to being done. And trust me, there isn't even enough space in Cobham. There's not enough space in the changing rooms. There's not enough pegs on the walls at Chelsea for them to also hijack this deal. It would be absolutely ludicrous if they even attempted that. They don't need him at all, and they couldn't even accommodate for him. That is one position that they definitely don't need to hijack another player in. Trust me. Roman Hope's going for an orange card for Casemiro last night as well. Orange card, a few laughs there from Winning Ways. You know what I mean, though, right? You know what I mean about an orange card. It wasn't a red, but it was straddling the line of legal or not legal on the football pitch. AGT, is Trossard cup tied? Can he play in the FA Cup for Arsenal? Asks White Boy. I don't know. I don't think cup tied is still a thing, is it? I think they moved on that rule. I'm not too sure. Someone will have to check though. Big up. Let's see. Big game player, says Adam 12. He is, as I've said, 20 goals. Listen, if he gets 20 goals, that would genuinely be one of the best signings of all time for Arsenal. Trust me. 7 goals, 7 assists, 11 goals from Omar Days. Trossard is an upgrade on Nketiah, says Bear. Mudryk already flopped in training, says Florian. That's a bit harsh. This is good for squad depth, says Fated FFA Gaming. And there was this, obviously, report, or there has been reports from De Zerbi on the attitude of Trossard, but I don't think Mikel Arteta goes for a player who has bad attitude. If that is the case, if he does have a bad attitude, you can kind of understand him wanting to kind of force the move, which isn't going to paint him in a positive light for Brighton fans. But if he's been determined to get this done, then you know he's done it. Big up to George Ogolo. AGT, your girl is Leng. Thank you, my brother. She is. Big up to you. Keep your eyes on to yourself, though, buddy. Arsenal fans always ready to get the heart broken, saying AB. Liverpool have also just announced 600 million annual revenue. Not that we'll see any of that, but there you go. Tumbleweeds rolling across the Stamford Ranch. Yeehaw, says Omar Days. Big up to you. These comments are mad, you know. It's brilliant. I love you guys. Big up yourself, AGT. Apart from Turkish, you're my favorite. Big up to you, white boy. Trust me, big up to Turkish as well. That's my guy, man. I've got a lot of love for that guy there. A lot of people having a go at Liverpool, which I'm not going to read out. This is more of an Arsenal video. Where's Transfer Daily? Why am I watching this mug? Well, tell yourself. Turn it off, mate. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. Big up to you, though, for watching, nonetheless. 10 goals and assists would be a great return, says Viraj. Agreed. Oh, my God, 20 mil for Trossard. Good player, saying Omar as well. When's the COP TV starting? Do you know what, guys? Very soon. As soon as I can get off of this video, I will be over on the COP TV with Matisse. I will have Matisse on the channel. I'm actually just going to see if he's awake yet, because we do know he likes a little line. I mean, this guy is one of the hardest workers in the space. He does about 4 streams a day. So hopefully Matisse does wake up soon and comes on the COP TV. But Arsenal fan here. Arsenal do 21. We could get Rice for, say, 60 million plus Lokonga on loan. Obviously in the midfield now. And I was speaking about this on Sky Sports News just 2 days ago when speaking about these Rice links to Arsenal. What I said was, if you look at Arsenal's midfield, the central midfield options, right now you've got Xhaka, Partey. Let's throw Odegaard in there as well. He plays as a cam. You've got Lokonga. You've got Fabio Vieira. You've got El Neni. There's 6 options there for you. If I'm Arsenal in the summer, I'm looking to move on Lokonga. I'm looking to move on El Neni. I know he signed a new deal fairly recently, but he could still get you maybe 10 million through the door. And you're potentially looking to move. I mean, Fabio Vieira, I think, will be a good player in the future. But if you do bring in a Declan Rice, then wow, that Arsenal midfield becomes even better. And I think when you look at their options, are they lacking someone that can really move the ball from box to box? I think Declan Rice can do that. He can pick a pass. Hasn't maybe been his best season for West Ham, but listen, he wants Champions League football. He wants to get out of West Ham. And I think really he needs to make that move if he's going to go to the next level in his career. You know, when he goes to England, I mean, he's 24 now. He's just turned 24, Declan Rice. But when he goes to England, he looks around, he sees Trent, sees Reece James, sees all these lads playing in the Champions League. That's the level that he wants to aspire to be at. He's not going to do that at West Ham. With all the due respect, he is not going to do that there. So, again, I don't believe that it would be a bad deal for either club. I think West Ham would be lucky to get 80 million out of him at the minute, and I think Arsenal would absolutely love to have him through the door as well. So yeah, thank you. Big up to Jordan Jones. When you next at Witty, top lad. Big up to you, my friend. Hopefully soon. Footy addicts soon come. Big up to you, bro. Declan Rice would be perfect, says Roman Hoax. What club or country shirt are you wearing, says Ray Locks. Trossard is awesome business, in my opinion. Keep up the good work, AGT. The old Spain away shirt from the World Cup in Qatar. I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of these bad boys. It is a beauty, really. When you look at it, light blue, I'm loving it, to be fair. Still want a forward. Thuram would be decent, saying Jordan Jones. Bro, you can't have it all. You've got Trossard through the door. I've just reeled off all your other attacking options. You can't have it all, my friend. 20 million for Trossard, 70 million for Rice this January, says I am Nase. Why not? That is the question. Why not? Trossard or Diaz, who is better? For me, it's a tough one, that. I'm going to go Luis Diaz, obviously. Injured at the minute. Need him to come back. AGT, Jude or Rice? Very good question. I'm going for Jude. I'm still going for Jude. Big up to Matt P98Z. Who will Arsenal be looking to buy as a midfielder? Rice, Tielemans, or Milinkovic-Savic? It's got to be Rice for me out of those guys. Amrabat is a good shout. I like him, says Third Eye Boy 85. Let's have a little look here. Tidor Jalisco says, AGTU, James and Robbie are the GOATs. You all provide the most professional and objective analysis. Thank you very much, my friend. Big up to you. Que viva España, says Graham Robb. Absolutely. AGT, I don't like Rice. He's overrated, says Abdul. I don't know. I hear your point. Maybe this season he has been slightly, but at the same time, he's the kind of player that you want through the door without question. He makes everyone better. Trust me. I love Trossard so much, says Gibrila. He is a Premier League proven player, mate. Absolutely, for sure. Right. Half an hour update is over. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. If you haven't known already, Leandro Trossard is going to Arsenal for £20 million. Unless Chelsea hijack it, it's a bit too late in the day for that as well. And also, we've seen Danny Ings now make the Claret hat trick by moving to West Ham for 15 million out of nowhere, really, out of nowhere. And there was no links to move Danny Ings on. Still a very good player, but it looks like he has now signed for West Ham. How do you feel about that one, West Ham fans? Let us know in the comments. And of course, Loris Karius stays at Newcastle now until the end of the season. But there you go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You've been brilliant. I'm about to do a match preview now on the COP TV. So if you want to jump over to that, it'll be me and Matisse. Big up for watching. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. All the best.